Hey everyone, welcome back to another video on my channel. If you're new here, I'm Mike. Today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about 5 things the narcissist hates. Okay? If you like this content, if this resonates with you, please give it a like, comment your thoughts and opinions and wisdom down below, and please subscribe while you're at it. Thank you in advance. So let's get into it. The first thing that comes to my mind is abandonment. Now this is often the precursor of everything which is to come in a narcissistic abusive relationship with you or anyone else, but this sense of abandonment often stems from childhood trauma or I should say, their parents being divorced, I being one of them. But I don't feel abandoned by anybody, but the narcissist, not everyone is exactly the same. No one is going through the exact same experiences the exact same way. No, that's not what I mean to say. What I mean is that the narcissist, whether it stems from childhood, maybe one of their parents is a narcissist, or both, or a sibling, or siblings, or cousins, it could be anyone, aunts, uncles, grandparents, whoever. But they hate being abandoned, and this often leads into their older years when they grow older and they become perhaps like college age, okay? And they hate being abandoned by their friends because it gets a source of supply off their friends, perhaps who are, toxic people themselves more often than not. They don't help the narcissist. They perhaps give them, they're enablers. They give them opportunities to display their poor behavior, or do the wrong things, maybe spinning their tires in the mud and getting nowhere, and then they become the aging narcissist. They can't ever introspect on what they may have done wrong, and which brings me into my next point, rejection. Now, much like abandonment, rejection can also be not only within childhood. Maybe, one of the parents left the family or walked out on them. Now, that my heart goes out to anyone who has gone through that, but the narcissist, they can't have empathy for anybody, unfortunately. So, and they're unreciprocal. But I digress on that point. Rejection from a source of supply or an on and off relationship, that often happens more often than not. They go through multiple relationships, multiple friendships, recycle friendships, use sources of supply up, on and off, and then they discard them as they will, or that person discards them. Which brings me into my next point. So they fear rejection, they fear abandonment, but what's also that they fear? Number 3 is people uncovering them, i.e. seeing behind the mask, or, the clown paint on their face when they're in the circus, putting on their facade for everybody in the audience. Unsuspecting empaths, perhaps other narcissists, who knows? But, enablers, the same people who we're talking about here, maybe whether it's family or friends or anybody. I could go further, but hopefully you get the point. They hate seeing people uncover who they are, because more often than not that leads to that rejection, or that person walking out on them because they realize that, maybe they've seen a video or two, maybe they've read an article or two or a book, and they realize that this person is a narcissist, and that narcissists can't be reasoned with, they can't be saved. Everything that they said And their actions proved it too, didn't they? Or lack thereof. You know, they give you breadcrumbs. They gave you breadcrumbs of hope and fake love and fake empathy just to keep you around for a little bit longer until you discovered behind the mask and said, no, I'm not going to take it any longer. You know, they hate to be the ones discarded, abandoned, rejected. And that's why they fear others seeing behind the mask, because it leads to more failure, and they can't introspect. They can't look upon what they did wrong. Now let's get to another thing: losing control. Losing control over others, whether it's in a toxic, a narcissistic abusive relationship, whether it's a romantic or in the family, whether the narcissist is a parent or somebody else mistreating them, abusing them, perhaps. My heart goes out to anybody who has. But the narcissist has no empathy for anyone but themselves. They can't relate to others, no matter how much we try to relate with them, with our own traumas, which we've hopefully worked out at this time, you know. And they hate losing control, and they might try to hoover you someday because they fear others being detecting what's behind the mask. And so as a result, they'll try to hoover you, get you to think otherwise. Oh, I didn't mean that, I still love you, blah blah blah. Never accept the hoover. It will only set you back in time. Being someone who has been hoovered many times, okay, I know this from first-hand experience, but fortunately I never accepted the hoover, and I intend to keep it that way, because this person is indeed a narcissist, 100%. And the fact that they don't respect your boundaries when they try to hoover you multiple times, they can't respect your boundaries. What makes you think that they can respect you or love you, for that matter? If they really loved you, they'd give you that space. They'd give you your time. And maybe, you know, you don't go back to them if they're a narcissist, but, you know, you try to mend relationships. The narcissist burns and blows up bridges along the way, unfortunately. So they fear abandonment, they fear rejection, they fear others uncovering the truth, i.e. what lies behind the mask. They hate losing control, and they also fear to be held accountable or even introspect, because they can't own up to their mistakes. They hate hearing the truth. They fear hearing the truth because it's a big ego destroyer. They're right there. So that's another thing they can't introspect, as I've often said without this video, or throughout this video. Excuse me, got dry mouth here. But they can't ever change. What makes you think that, you know, just as I said before, with the boundaries, the violations of your own personal space, they think they're entitled to your attention, and they want to control you day in and day out. Be their errand person at all times. Be their free therapist. Be their sounding board. Be their free punching bag. And they can't ever see what they're doing wrong. But this is the sad reality of it. And so as a result of them not being able to introspect, as a result of them not being able to show empathy or make things right the healthy way, not by just hoovering someone over and over again, and expecting the same result by doing the same wrong thing over and over again, there's nothing to be said anymore. We've got nothing to talk about with the narcissist anymore. We tried while we could. The narcissist perhaps discarded, or we removed ourselves from the equation ourselves, or the reverse discard happens. But either way, these people can't introspect. They'll never be sorry with you or anybody, whether it's an old source, i.e. you, or this person before you. And they'll never be sorry for anybody in their future. Maybe it's a neighbor, maybe it's a friend, or a new romantic interest that they want to sucker in for a round of abuse. You know, these people will do as they will. But, you know, we've uncovered, you know, fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, uncovering the truth, what lies behind, you know, their facade there, their fake act. They fear, you know, being, or losing control rather, okay? And we've also gone over being held accountable, or fear introspecting, right? Or fearing being held accountable. But this is the honest truth here. Don't expect the same results. Like the narcissists, they love to repeat the same mistakes over and over again, and you just go on about your life. Unlike them, they can't dust themselves off when they fall down. You get up, and you will heal in your own time. If I can do it, you can do it. It has, you know, surprised me to no effect that I'm in a much better spot than I was, you know, and I've been in some sticky situations. I've lived a rough life. I've been dealt the short hand of the stick, unfortunately. I am an abuse survivor, but this isn't a pity play. But the point is, you can still go through a lot of things in life and still continue on. We don't fear the future or fear anything, you know. We just take things as they come, and we handle it as it, you know, when that bridge comes and we cross it, we'll handle it then. So with that, I thank you for joining me here today in this beautiful weather. This is Mike. I love you. God bless you. Take care. Bye.